Um, we're going to get started with a few introductions tonight. I'm going to start here with our agenda this evening. We'll cover some introductions, introduce you to some key folks, some key staff, and some key volunteers that'll be helping us along throughout this very important food drive. We're going to hit on our sponsors that we have supporting this year. We'll talk about some ways that Scout units can participate. We'll cover the expectations that the unit coordinators will be expected. So you folks, we'll give a little tutorial on mapping. We'll talk a little bit about marketing and promotion, and then we'll talk about just the mechanics of distribution day and collection day. We'll talk about a little bit about reporting, and then share just some resources at the end. If you have questions tonight while as we're moving through this, fire away. We have Tammy Thorough. She's our district executive in the Ledge Lakes District. She'll be managing the chat tonight. You can type those in, and she will be responding to those as we go along. All right, just starting out, we're just going to walk through who are the key contacts in each district for scouting for food. We'll start with Northern Lights District, so Langlade, Marinette, and Oconto counties. We have Michael Hollander. He is our Scouting for Food chair, so our lead volunteer in Northern Lights. And then Josh Sampson is our district executive there. So you have some email addresses, some contact info. This is also on our Bay Lakes Council website on baylakesbsa.org/scouting for food. We will share this out with everyone post meeting as well, so you have it, just in case you don't right now. Voyager District, so Brown, Door, and Kewaunee counties. We have our Scouting for Food chair, Craig Robbins, so our lead volunteer there. And then our staff, Brandon Colmark. He is the newest staff member up in Voyager District. All right, Gathering Waters District. So Calumet, Outagamie, Shawano, Wapaka, and Winnebago counties. We have our lead volunteer there, Paul Rasmussen. And then we have our lead staff there, Jason Splinter. All right, Twin Lakes District. So we have Wapaka, Waushara, and Winnebago counties. Our lead volunteer team there, Carol and Jeff Faust. And then our lead staff there is Medeja Zipperer. All right. And then Ledge to Lakes District. So Fond du Lac, Green Lake, and Marquette counties. We have our lead volunteer, Chris Lund. And then our staff, our district executive, Tammy Thorough. Lakeshore District, Manitowoc, Sheboygan, and Calumet counties. We have Jen Ray, Adrian Burdett, and our two lead volunteers. And then we have Sally Bork, our senior district executive there, so our lead staff in that part of the council. And last but not least, Kettle Country District, so Washington, Dodge, and Ozaki counties. We have Jeff Egan. He is our district executive in that area. So if you have questions, you can direct those to Jeff. He's our local expert in Kettle Country. All right. So that covers introductions for our key volunteers and some of our staff. So these are going to be those contacts, like I said, that can help answer questions that you guys may have outside of, the training tonight. Just throwing up a quick shout out to our sponsors this year. We had a few advertising sponsors: WIXX, WLUK Fox 11, C. Hafer Broadcasting, and Radio Plus. And then we also received a donation from the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers Foundation as well. All right. So let's talk about ways to participate. We're very excited for this year's food drive. This is our 37th annual food drive, and it's such an important thing that our scouts get to be a part of to help out in their communities. Um, it helps them in a number of ways. One, to learn to be better people, to to be good citizens. It helps them achieve ranks. I think there's requirements all the way through Cub Scouts up through, I think first class in our troops where, kids can be earning, helping themselves advance by participating in scouting for food. It's just a feel good thing for kids and adults and then members of the community as well. So these are the ways that we put out there the best ways that our scout units can participate. Option one, this is kind of the traditional way this campaign has operated in the past. Basically, you put out bags the first weekend of the drive. So for us, it's October 11th. So in your community, you would receive boxes of bags that are provided by the council. And those are, we'll talk a little more about how you get your hands on those later on. But you'll put those out that first weekend in the community. And then the following weekend, you come back and you pick up the food that the residents put out and you take it to your local collection point. Now, these may be a food pantry in town. You may have a separate collection point depending on where you are in the council. Option two, this is a good way to make an impact where maybe we don't have enough scouts to get out and canvass entire neighborhoods and get all the houses. You can contact a local grocery store and get their approval to have a collection bin or a collection site out during the week of the food drive. And then that last Saturday, you could even have your scouts on hand at that grocery store, soliciting folks for food for those food donations at the store. I know we've had a number of scouts doing that over the last couple of years. We do have a partnership with Festival Foods and a number of other grocery stores already that are allowing us to do this type of thing. So we'll get a little more in the weeds on that here in a minute. I'm going to talk about our last option. This is something we're looking to add this year that we haven't really done across the council, but this is an option that might be a nice way to help us build some goodwill with our school districts. Have your scout unit host a collection at the school that they attend during the week of our food drive. That could be a neat way again to kind of build those ties with our schools. I know sometimes when we're focusing on recruiting, we're going in there asking the schools, to do us a favor. This is a way to kind of provide a service back to them and a neat way to bring us together. So those are really the three key ways that a scout unit could participate in the food drive. All right. So let's talk a little bit about you folks. If you're on this call tonight, I'm guessing you are the person in charge for your pack, troop, crew, post, ship. You're the point person for scouting for food. Um, this description here, if you guys just take a look at that, this is really the expectations that we're looking from you to provide leadership to your scouts, your scout unit for this food drive. So give everyone a second just to kind of take a look at that. I'm gonna take a minute. Tammy, do we have any questions coming in on the chat?
Not right now. Well, now that I said that, somebody just messaged.
Okay. Just to kind of highlight this, really you're going to be, you know, your unit's cheerleader for the food drive, emphasizing the importance of it, um, being the communication, the point person, getting getting the volunteers in place and in order. It may look a little different, unit to unit, depending if you're doing the door-to-door collections, or if you are setting up at a grocery store, or if you guys are going to do, a food drive at one of your local schools. Um, it'll look a little different depending on which model you're using. But really, the main goal is we want to get as many of our scouts um, out there helping collect food for the community, um, and just making sure everyone is safe, which we'll get into a little more as well. So we don't want any issues with anyone getting injured or put in a tough spot. We just want to make sure that you are the point person as well, so you'll be the one gathering resources, whether it's the bags for to put those out in the community. Um, you'll be the person that'll be in charge of getting the recognition items for the scouts. So we'll have patches available at no charge for our scouts again this year. You'll be the person placing that order. You'll be the person reporting back to your district contact people on the amount of food that was collected on the weekend. But yeah, we can continue on if there's no questions there. Um, Now we wanted to share with everyone. I know some folks on this call are probably an expert in this area, but we have our own on hand tonight. We have Mr. Chris Lund. He's the district chair in Ledge to Lakes. He was going to share with us a cool tool on how to break down a community if you are going the door-to-door route, putting out bags on the first weekend, then collecting them the following weekend. This is a good way to break down a community if there's multiple units that need to kind of share the area. So at this point, Chris, if you're ready, I can hand the reins over to you.
Yeah, bear with me just a second. I just closed the map I was going to use.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Ready to go when you are.
All right, I think I'll need to end my share, and then I'll let you share your screen.
Sure.
Right.
Actually, you have to make the other Chris Lund a.
Oh, I made a different Chris
Yeah,
Lund to
there's
co-host.
two of me because my microphone doesn't work on my computer. I'm real high tech today.
There you are.
Okay, perfect. So, and I shared with you guys a little map we made a couple years ago. Can you guys see this um, bunch of information here? A bunch of squares. We went through, and particularly in Fond du Lac, we have a lot of packs and troops in one area. So at the time, we went through and kind of found your areas to cover here. So North Fond du Lac, and I marked you guys. This is North Fond du Lac's area. Very easy one there. But based on some of the current maps, we've taken. Everyone had something handwritten or just passed down through generations of scouting for food folks. We wanted to make sure we were covering the city as best as we could. So I have here, and this I can share this link with you guys, where you guys have told me you're going to go, and I have two areas here that are not covered at all. So I guess what we're kind of trying to say is there's going to be probably some changes to where you have been covering in the past.
Hey, Chris,
Yeah.
this isn't just Ledge to Lakes. We're talking to everybody from our entire council.
Oh, never mind.
So we're just talking about how this tool works and how they can utilize it.
Oh, That's even easier.
Yep.
Okay, so what we've done here is taken our territories and broken them down so we make sure people aren't overlapping, really. So I have one of our packs and troops shares this neighborhood. So I went down and drew in a new map. I drew a line of, this part of the city they're covering, and I have that marked with their troop. That way, say the Cub Master leaves or loses their paper, we have this documented somewhere for someone else to use. So we can go as granular as down individual streets like we've done here. But really, I found a lot of success in just taking this draw a line feature in my maps. And you can just do something as simple as add a line of shape, follow a road, make a point, make a point, make a point. And that's a new territory right there to cover. You can make it as detailed or as zoomed out as you'd like. But that's really good tool that we've used, we started to use, and it's going to allow us to pass on what areas to do door-to-door scouting for food in perpetuity, and allows us to make changes. If someone wants to cover somewhere else, we know exactly if that area is covered at all, or if they can who they talk to maybe trade areas or whatever works for them. Because some, especially troops, they're not based around school; they're based around church. They may have all their scouts living in one area, so on and so forth. You can make a lot of those changes here, have that logged, and make changes where necessary. So that's kind of the gist of what we have going on here. I don't know if anything else you want me to cover here, Tammy.
No, I think that's about it.
Yep, and Chris, thank you for sharing this. This is really something that we're encouraging our our district volunteers to use. I know some districts are using this already. Obviously, you folks in Ledge here are using this in Fond du Lac. It's a great way to assign territory. So a lot of folks that are on the call tonight that are unit coordinators, you might not be doing this side of it, but you'll be hearing from either your district staff or your district volunteer about a territory that is available that you can use. Kind of like they have it broken down here on the map.
Uh, Chris Lund, there's a question. They want to know how they access this tool. And they want to know if maps are pre-made for our troops and packs. Um,
Well, I can go through the first question.
yes.
So since I'm still sharing here, I'm going to go into Google Maps and just search Google Maps. The tool to use this is I have this saved. You can create a new map. And maps. Okay, so I have this saved here, but you can start a new map here once I'm trying to find the. That's not cooperating. I'm sorry. Well, you can, once we can go to My Maps, I'm sorry. Google My Maps. And that should get you, there we go, a custom map. It's Google My Maps. That's why I was in the wrong thing. Click create a new map. Yep, create. And now if you are fancy and have a Excel file full of coordinates and addresses, you can import those directly. All you do is drag and drop the file right into the import section here. You can just drag and drop every address you'd cover, and Google will automatically map all that with pins. That's one way of doing it. It's a lot of data, though. So you can go through and just start adding lines and shapes, where you want to cover for your troop. And you can go in, I'll make another line here. I don't know where this is in the country, but once I have this made, I can make the name of the troop and save it. And this is labeled for this troop. Real simple. You can change the color. The Google does not.
That's a large area for Troop 3 there.
They got some work to
22.6
do.
square miles.
They got some work to do over there, over in Nebraska. But yeah, so that's the real gist of what I'm doing. Google My Maps is the tool I use. It's very easy. You can make a map and just start drawing with this tool right here. Draw a line. You can go down city streets, and really divide out your territory or as much as you'd like, or have you can do it yourself for other fundraisers too. So this is the tool we've used. We really like it, and that's kind of the gist of how to use it. That kind of answer your question, how to get in here.
Yes. Okay, so next question, which I think I can probably just answer.
Yeah.
Brianna wants to know, she said, we have a number of packs that overlap in our area. How can we see the map for our area to ensure that we are not working areas that other troops are? Brianna, the best answer to that is that you'll have to work with your um whoever the volunteer is in your district, because they should have the maps. If they don't have the maps, that's something that each district is going to have to work on getting them. If you know who the unit is, you can get contact information for that unit with the overlapping area and just coordinate with them. It's not a perfect system. We're just all out there trying our best.
Yeah, we went through 2 years ago and asked every troop and pack in the area where they cover, if they have maps, tell us where you're going, and we just logged it and kind of waited and see who went where, and if anybody follow their map or need to make any changes. And this allows us to log all that. So now we have it in one place. So it's a lot of manual work to get that set up.
And now the next part, Jay said marking up maps this way only marks up my personal Google map, right? So that isn't how we should reserve our area. This is in order to divvy up the area for individual scout assignments. In Gathering Waters, they have a shared map. So Jay, I think there's two different parts in here. So yes, Gathering Waters uses a shared map. Ledge to Lakes will be using a shared map. For individual units, you can utilize this tool by taking your area and plugging it into it. Okay.
Nope. Did we lose you, Tammy?
No, I'm here.
Oh, sorry.
I think we're ready to move on.
Okay. Let me get back to our slideshow.
Chris Weber, are you still
Yeah,
there? Did we
yeah,
lose
sorry.
you?
I had a little freeze up there.
Okay.
Let me get back to this.
You were very quiet for a moment there.
Hmm. Sorry, Zoom's giving me a little
Bit
bit.
of trouble here. Here we go. All right. Sorry about this, guys. The navigation's not working well for me. All right. We'll talk about our distribution day here on October 11th. Just some best practices to have your scouts and your
Chris,
adults.
we're not seeing that.
We're not seeing that.
We're seeing your, full screen. So we're seeing the overall, PowerPoint.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
Let me stop this.
Are you seeing the distribution day now?
we are, but we're seeing the presenter
The presenter
slides.
slides. Ah, okay. Let's not do that.
You fixed it.
All right,
We're good.
great. Great. So let's talk about the best practices for distribution day. If you're going out putting out bags in the community, so have your scouts and adults meet at your assembly location early enough to distribute collection bags out and make sure everyone is understanding of the procedures for the day. It's a good time to review some safety procedures, which we have a nice document on our website. If you guys are looking for a resource that you want to maybe print out, bring along, or email out to your families, just on some safety guidelines, it'd be a good time to walk through that document. Make sure we're using the buddy system, right? We're pretty well known in scouting to use the buddy system. Let's keep that going outside of just what we expect our scouts on campouts to do. Let's keep them working in buddy systems if we have youth, traveling together. Have enough vehicles for the number of scouts participating in the area to be covered. Again, just really, really, really emphasize keeping everybody safe using crosswalks. We don't want to be jaywalking. We do not want to be, crossing through people's landscaping, their flower beds, things like that. Pretty common sense stuff, but it's always good
Chris, did we
to
lose
just
you again?
What's that?
You cut out.
Okay. Can you hear
Your
me
voice
now?
cut out. We can hear you now.
Okay, great. It's this out in the country, the internet's not always the best. So, again, just keep scouts safety, use crosswalks. Let's not walk through people's flower beds. Pretty common sense stuff, but when we're dealing with Cub Scouts and even some older scouts, some reminders are helpful, and even some adults. When we are distributing the bags, this is always a big one. Only on the doors or doorknobs. Obviously, do not enter anyone's homes or apartment buildings. If there's signs posted on the property, no solicitations, please do not leave anything. I know we get a couple calls each year from folks that are upset, so we want to try and minimize that as much as possible. All right. All right, some other things to keep in mind. This is a big one with the Postal Service. Please, 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 please do not place any bags on mailboxes. I know in the past we've had some mailboxes that were tied shut. The bags were tied around. Just not a good situation. We will get threatening phone calls from the postmasters in those communities, threatening fines and things like that. It is against the law. So just please encourage your scouts not to do such thing. Do your best to cover your entire territory. I know that's another area where sometimes we'll get some phone calls on the first weekend, people saying they didn't receive a bag. I know sometimes things happen, right? We're expecting youth to do this, and things aren't going to be done perfectly. And sometimes we have some weather where the wind picks up and blows bags away. We've had that happen. But just do your best to cover the entire area. And if a house receives a bag, we should be back, that next week to pick it up. Um, have your scouts, if they're young scouts, practice attaching collection bags to doors. Um, have them try and put it on the door in the easiest fashion, while keeping, like I mentioned earlier, keeping it from, catching wind and blowing away. Vehicles that are being driven to kind of monitor scouts should stay as close as possible. Also have adults on the streets to assure, our scouts are safe. And then have a plan to remind the scouts and adults a day or two before, to wear their uniforms, because this is really one of the great things too, about this effort. Um, it's our scouts out in the community. Let's make sure we're visible. Let's wear those uniforms with pride, um, showing our communities that, yeah, we're scouts and we do some pretty darn good work out here. And we're really doing, a huge effort here to really help out some folks in need. So yeah, wear the uniform with pride. And it's a great thing, because I know that always gets community members talking, seeing scouts out in action. Right. All right, I'm gonna turn it over to Tammy to talk a little bit about, promotions and marketing.
Chris, the slide we're still seeing is distribution day, October 11th.
Yep, I'm gonna
Okay.
stop that.
Chris, did you have any slides for this, or am I just kind of talking through it?
No, I do have slides. Sorry, I'm just having some issues here.
Yeah, you're having some technical issues tonight, huh?
Hmm.
Well, while you're figuring that out, one other thing that I wanted to say about, safety with the scouts is please, 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 especially on both days, but when you're going and picking up the bags and you have a van or an SUV or a trailer or anything like that, and you got the back open, do not let the kids sit in the back of the vehicle. That is against the Guide to Safe Scouting. It is completely unsafe, and we 100% get phone calls every single year about it, about us allowing kids to be unsafe. So please do not do that. If the kids need a break from, walking, they can get into a vehicle and be buckled in. How's it going, Chris?
Yeah, Zoom is giving me a bit of a headache here.
Yeah, we don't normally have this issue with Zoom, so I'm not sure what is going on.
Yeah, it's just not letting me navigate through here. I think
It's a my computer type issue, but is it back to presenter?
Yeah, it's just it's looking like we're just showing your PowerPoint, and yeah, we can't really see anything. So Well, I mean, I can just talk about the social media and marketing aspect of
Re-
scouting for food.
are we seeing collection day?
We're seeing collection day
Okay. I'm just
now.
gonna walk through quick collection day and we'll hit the
Yep.
marketing. So collection day, October 18th. Again, meet again at your assembly location early enough to review again with your scouts, both and their adults, the plan for the day. Start collecting food donations after 9 a.m. We really don't want to be there any earlier than that. We want to give the folks enough time to place the bags out. Um, Plan to finish your efforts by 11:30 if possible. Um, just aim for that. Cover all the houses in the same area in which your unit distributed the collection bags. It's probably smart maybe having a second run through plan later in the day, just in case there are some bags that are put out a little later. Continue to remind scouts to be courteous, no loud yelling, horseplay, and make sure you're staying again on walkways. We just want to put on, a good representation of what scouting is and how our scouts, are expected to behave. Deliver food to collection point between 10:30 and 12 p.m. This is going to vary district by district. Again, it could be a pantry, a food bank, might be a church. There's different collection points depending on your district, so you'll get that information from your district representatives. At the collection agencies, volunteers will need while they may need help unloading food and putting it away, boxing it, sorting it. So that's another good opportunity to have your scouts volunteer as well. This is a big one, collection day reporting. Here, so we just have a quick form. So there's a QR here if anyone wants to, if you're not on your phone already, or you can click, there's the link here as well. But that's the reporting form where we'll ask for your results that on that collection day. We want to get that all that information gathered, as much of it as we can that weekend, because we like to, get some reports out on how we did as a council, some things out in the newspaper and through other media outlets. But a simple form should take just a few minutes to fill out. Right. Here are just some resources again. This is the website or landing page for Scouting for Food, where you guys will find a lot of this information that we covered tonight, and those contacts as well. Guide to Safe Scouting. This is just always a good resource just to reference before we go on any outing or activity. Um, Tammy, then did you? Yeah,
There's a question.
yeah.
Our
Go ahead.
local area has a large drop off at our stadium. How is this tracked per troop and pack? How necessary is this information?
If well, it. So I'm guessing this is a Voyager district.
Correct.
District unit. So Lambeau Field has been the collection point there for the last number of years. Um, I believe Craig will be on hand, and he has a pretty good system for recording which packs, which troops have dropped off and how much. So we'll get a little clarification from him. I'm not sure if he's on the call tonight, but we can follow up with you. Um, if they're collecting that information at the report site or the collection point site, that should be good enough. We just want to receive the information just so we can use that. It benefits us in a lot of different ways. We apply for different grants for funding to support this effort. So having accurate numbers is helpful. And then also knowing exactly how many of our packs and troops participated, it is important because that's all information that we need to submit for a lot of these grants and a lot of these groups that do donate funds to the cause. So I hope that answers it.
I think it answers it.
Okay. Um, then Tammy, did you want to talk just on the marketing side before we get into the pantry list?
One second. There is another question. Let me just finish reading it quick.
Okay.
Um, Jay had a very similar question. He said that he doesn't think that they've ever counted individual items. Each card just goes and drops off the food pantry. But I believe they report total food collected, not per unit. How do I confirm? Jay is in Gathering Waters. Do we know that offhand? Gathering Waters drops off at St. Joe's.
Yep, St. Joe's. Yeah, usually like when I get reports from some of those larger collection points, the coordinator there, the volunteer coordinator, will provide a list of the units that dropped off and then like a total weight. Some of them do or an item count or a weight count. Um, some of them do log it by unit. Um, so I guess in that scenario, I mean it's at a large collection point like that, I just want to know the number of units that were involved, like which ones dropped off there, and then the total number of food is okay. If that volunteer is calculating it that way, just that total amount, that would be fine.
All right. Perfect. What's next? Do you want me to do the social media stuff or do you want to do the pantry list?
Yeah, if you want to talk through the social media,
Okay. While I'm doing that, why don't you try to get that pantry list open?
sounds good.
All right. So there's going to be a few things that will happen. There will be an event that will be created on our Facebook page. And then there's going to be a bunch of social media things that are going to be going out, including press releases. We ask that yourself and you ask all of your families to go and say that they're going to that event and go and start sharing that event out there. The more people that we can get in our communities to know that it is happening, the better. Because our not everybody listens to the radio. Not everybody is going to read the newspaper that these things go into. So any help that you can help us with would be fantastic. By the middle of next week, we should have the Facebook event set up. And I will send the link out with, an update. Actually, I'm sure Chris, you could probably send the link. I'll get it set up and you can send it along with all of this other stuff. So everybody has everything. So just make sure you're sharing all that information out there. Um, Again, makes our lives a lot easier. Questions about that? If anybody has any specific questions regarding social media marketing, I can absolutely help with that. All right, Holly said you mentioned option of collection at schools. Do you have approved marketing flyers that units can provide to schools for newsletters and such to bring awareness? Holly, yes, we are working on taking our bin posters that we have used for years in the grocery stores and the large posters that get hung up also at the grocery stores. We're working on making a smaller version of that we will, as soon as we have that done, we'll get it up onto the Scouting for Food landing page um on our website that can be utilized for schools. And it doesn't have to just be schools. It can be charter organizations. We have churches and things like that are also participating, that are putting boxes out for us, during, the few weeks leading up to Scouting for Food. All right.
Tammy, one other thing. Do you want to give an update just on the bags and
Sure.
yep, yep.
So our bags come from International Plastics in North Carolina. I did speak to them this morning. They should have them completed by Monday, and then they'll get shipped out to us. So it's looking like, depending upon how the truck routes go and things like that, late next week or early the following week, that they will be delivered to Green Bay. And from there, they'll start getting dispersed out. They should be into the districts, that third to fourth week in September. So wait to hear from your scouting for food chair from your district as to when, where, how, that you can pick up the bags. Okay. I think that's it.
Okay, thanks, Tammy. So everyone should be seeing now the pantry list, right, Tammy?
We sure are. I like how you
Great,
asked me.
great, right? Hey,
Yeah, we see it.
great. So this document is what the Scouting for Food Shares and staff have been using for the last few months to confirm participation from our food pantries across the council. Tammy, I believe don't
It
quote me,
was
I believe
in, it
February.
was the letters went out in July. And the letters went out to all food pantries we had on our list from previous years, and every charter organization in our entire council. So if you're reaching out to your charter organizations about participating in the Scouting for Food Drive, it's not a surprise to them. They have received letters. Some charter organizations want to have their volunteers get out in the community with you guys. So definitely approach your charter organizations. More hands make light work.
Absolutely. So there's been a lot of communication sent out to our food pantries. As you guys will see on the list, in column C here, we have a confirmed category, a little check box. Um, those are the unchecked pantries are the ones that we've not heard back from, unfortunately. Um, whether they are going to be available to receive food donations on that second Saturday. So I think at this point, we're gonna share this link with you into this document. If you guys are looking on here and you see a food pantry in your neighborhood that you benefits from food you donate, or it's a collection point, and you have a contact there and you want to reach out and confirm them, I think we're going to open it up. You know, if you want to just check the box, if it's someone that you've confirmed, that would help us out at this point in the game, because we're kind of getting to a point we really need to have this solidified. There's just a few that we need to firm up here in the next 2 weeks.
I'm only one person. I can't make that many phone calls.
Mm. So yeah, like I said, when you guys when you get this link, we're gonna have it on our landing page as well. Take a peek, look at your community, um, and if you can make contact and confirm their participation, and you want to let us know, you can check the box. That would be very helpful. Um, and Tammy, I know you were talking about chartered orgs that have committed to help so far. I'm just showing everyone. Just we have a couple that have verbally committed. Um,
And that just means that they reached out to me. They either
yeah,
emailed me, texted me, called me. It doesn't mean that your charter org isn't participating. For instance, the first two, Watoma and Green Bay, they have been participating with their units for years. They were just say, "Hey, yep, we're participating again this year with them. Here's the unit numbers." So if you know your charter organization is going to participate, please put that on there. We would love to have record of that as well.
um, this tab as well. So we have some other grocery. So every festival food store in our council bar is in, no matter what. We added this tab. These are some other stores that have been confirmed or that are on the list to be confirmed, to have scouts at collecting food. I know you see a few from Oshkosh on this list here, because that is going to be their the main way that they do scouting for food in that community. Oshkosh will not be doing door-to-door bag drops and collections this year. They're gonna just to cover the territory right now. There's not enough scouts to do it efficiently enough, so they're really gravitating towards the grocery store collection sites. So they're going to be at the two Pick and Save stores, Piggly Wiggly, and then the Festival Foods. And I know some districts in the council are a little more heavy with the grocery store collection methods, which is fine. If that's a good thing. We just want to try and get as many of these stores down, just so we have record of it. So again, this is a tab. If you're a troop or a pack, and you guys do do a grocery store, can you just throw that info in there? That would help us out.
We
Um,
definitely see that in some of those smaller communities
yeah.
as well. They're kind of spread out. Like I think of like Ripon, for instance. I know they do a grocery store, and their town hall also has a collection site. And they're out at a grocery store 2 weekends in a row doing that because they just don't have the bodies to be able to get out into that very spread out, area. So
Um,
if you have something like that where you're in a small community and you guys normally do a grocery store, please put it on there for us.
yeah. Um, if if your unit really is looking to as well to do the school option, a school drive, food drive, um, I'm gonna change the name of this tab. We're gonna add schools. If you want to add your schools in the chartered org tab, that'd be a good spot for us to kind of keep a record of which schools participated. I know that would be a very helpful thing for us to track and have that info available.
To give you an idea what Pyre Elementary School is doing, it was actually the PTO president that contacted me, and they're going to be doing a classroom competition that entire week. And then we go in at the end of the day on Friday and pick up the food. And the PTO is supplying ice cream for the classroom who has the most.
Okay. Tammy, anything we want to hit on the pantry slash grocery store slash charter oak school list?
I don't think so. I think the biggest thing right now is for us to get these confirmed, as much as, humanly possible. So even if, you live in, Green Bay, for instance, and you just message Chris or I and say, "Hey, I'm going to contact all of the Green Bay ones for you," that would be huge. It would be a huge help for us. Jay wants to know if the recording is going to be made available and the slide deck linked on our website.
Yes, both will be up. I'm hoping tomorrow by the end of the day. I know we'll be out at our Sporting at Clay's event, but we'll try and get it up before the end of the day.
And Jay, yes, it is the one that is currently there is the one from last year. It'll be updated with the new one.
Um, I do have one other item that I'm just looking for some help from. I'm guessing this might be from a unit in Voyager District. We do have that partnership with Fox 11, and they're looking to shoot some ads for us, some TV ads. I'm looking for some volunteers. They would like to get some scouts, to be part of the ads. So if there's anyone up in that area, I think Green Bay. I think last year we had a group from a couple scouts from De Pere, but someone in that area, in that market, if anyone is interested, have some some scouts that want to be part of it, you could directly send me a message, chris.weber@scouting.org, or my information's on the website as well. But that's just something I am actively looking for, just some volunteers on that front to be part of the radio ads.
Chris, the
Yes.
other thing is that the slide deck that's currently on our website, we did let everyone know that the current one that's on there is from last year. Um, and so it will be updated. And again, that's going to be at baylakesbsa.org/SFF. Um, However, the links that are in there from last year are not clickable. Can we d make sure that they're either clickable? Like maybe I think if you save it as a PDF, it should be clickable on the website. If not, we might need to have a separate document that just has all of the links on it.
Yeah, we'll make sure we have the links working, so we can do that. Okay. With that, that kind of concludes the agenda we had for this evening. I'll leave it. Any last minute questions before we conclude? All right. It doesn't sound like it. Well, thanks everybody for the time tonight. Appreciate you being part of this very important food drive, this great service opportunity for our scouts. Um, Looking forward to having a safe and successful food drive again this year. Wishing you all the best. Again, if you guys have questions after the fact, anything comes up, feel free to reach out to myself or Tammy. Our information is listed again on baylakesbsa.org /scouting for food. And then just keep posted, keep your eyes posted for some of the social media posts. Share those, help bring the awareness, and then again to keep in touch with your district representatives. But with that,
Um,
we'll
And
yes, yep.
Chris, the social media post, because I was going to do it for the chairs of each district as well. I can absolutely post the schedule of when all of those are going to be posted. So we can get that on the website as well. So it'll be a singular document that tells you exactly what date every single one of our posts is going to be posted. That way you have that resource that you can go in and share those. But the biggest thing is the event. Go in, say you're going to the event. Get all your families to say they're going to the event and share those out.
All right, fantastic. All right, well, thanks everyone. We'll see you out on the trail. Have a good evening.